Wow, fascinating stuff there from Mama B and our two guests as they delved into some of the topical issues occupying our minds today. But here's another very topical, all-important issue, and it's all about water and the conservation of our forests. Rocha Ghana, in its campaign to protect the Atiwa forest, the forest reserve in the eastern region, is holding their first ever Atiwa exhibition at the British Council. Itiwa, I think is the proper pronunciation. Now, the non-governmental organization, the NGO, Rocha Ghana, specializes in environmental protection. And in a press release, they explained that illegal mining has had a great and terrible effect on Ghana's forest reserves and, of course, our water bodies, which means that all of a sudden we need to protect the existing reserve. So today, well, let's find out how you can be a part of this exhibition, this campaign, and this push to preserve our natural resources. Now, Rocha Ghana is organizing this in conjunction with Multimedia Group because we absolutely care about this. And we're honored to have the Deputy Director of Rocha Ghana, Daryl Bosu, here with us. Daryl, how nice to see you. Thank you for coming.
Good to see you, Kajal.
All right. Now, look, we talk a lot about water.
Yeah.
But let's look into the future. You know, where do we get our water from? And is it at risk? How much of it is left as we speak?
Okay. So Ghana, like every country, gets its water sources from the rivers and streams, which are surface water bodies. We also have water in the underground water table, which we can also tap into. But for Ghana, because also of our development stage and also the need for infrastructure and technology, we tap, or most people get their water sources directly from the open sources, the rivers and streams. It is when you come to the urban centers and the peri-urban areas that you see that there's infrastructure in place for communities or for government to bring water from far away into people's homes. But majority get their water from the surface water bodies, and that is something that is very crucial if you are looking at protecting water. You need to take this into consideration, where people get their water from. And for us, it's mainly the open sources of water. Right,
let's bring this to Atiwa forest.
Yes.
Tell us, what is the threat to the forest? Why must we be concerned about Atiwa forest in particular?
Yes, so Atiwa forest is actually a forest in the eastern region. It's actually a mountain, sort of, and it's considered upland evergreen by its description. And if you travel all the way from Accra to Kumasi, you see this particular relief on the left. And when you get to that Peja areas, it gives you also feel this microclimate, very cool environment in that particular region. And this forest is singularly responsible for making sure that about 5 million people get access to water for agriculture, domestic, and also industrial purposes.
5 million.
5 million
That's
people.
That's a sixth of our population.
Exactly. And that is, if you look at communities right close by this forest, all the way to people in Nsawam, and then you come to Accra, and actually the river Denyusu, which is coming from this forest, feeds the Weja. So if you are in Accra and you are getting water from Ghana Water Company, you should know that your water is coming from the forest. And that is something most people in the city need to actually try and get to know. Where is the water coming from? And for people in Accra, most people in Accra, our water is coming from Weja. There are those in the northern part of Accra who get their water from Pong. But all of these water sources need to be protected because of the significance of it. So that is why Atiwa is very significant. Again,
the threat to Atiwa forest and the water from there is Galamsey, right?
Right now, there is ongoing Galamsey activities because government has put a ban. Some people are going into under the cover of the trees to mine in the night, and the police is doing their best to really deal with it. But the greatest threat now to this forest is the government interest to also target this particular area for bauxite mining. And we know that bauxite mining is the bigger evil compared to Galamsey. It's actually going to decimate the forest totally. For us, Galamsey people go in and dig, and you still see some forest standing. Bauxite mining is actually the total removal of the forest cover, leaving you with a pit, which then will be used for processing of bauxite and all that. And this, we think, is the biggest threat, and for which we think that to make sure that we secure our water sources, we need to make sure we actually reverse this decision as soon as possible.
And that's where this exhibition comes in. Tell us about it.
So the exhibition is basically bringing Atiwa to the people in Accra, so you get to know where your water is coming from. We're going to share with you the sights and sounds of this forest. So we invite you to come, and it's interesting. This forest also has so many beautiful plants and animals. And every day scientists are working, they discover something new. We recently just came out with the biodiversity report, and just when the print came out, we got information that 3 new species has been discovered.
3 new species of what?
Of animals have been discovered. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You need to come to the exhibition so you can get to see it. And this is what we are talking about. It's only significant for water, but there are several species which are only found in this country and nowhere else in the world. And even people have described it as one of the best places in the world to actually see biodiversity. So aside the water service for about 5 million people, it also has some global significance. And that is why we think that if there's any place we need to give maximum security to, this is one place.
Right. Yeah. Well, no doubt this exhibition is an opportunity for the people of Ghana to see what is at risk here. So tell us, how can people participate in this? How can they all contribute to this worthy cause of preserving the Tuwa forest?
Yeah, so the exhibition is open from tomorrow. It's opening at 2 p.m. right up to 7 p.m.
British Council?
British Council. And then on Thursday to Saturday, it stays open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And we invite the public to walk in, just take your time, take in the scenes, take in the sights. And as you come, also engage with the painter on site who is trying to send a message out there to the government officials so they do the right thing for posterity.
Wonderful. Yeah. Well, listen, this is a worthy cause. We wish you all the best with it. We're right beside you. And you need to come along and check out this wonderful exhibition at the British Council, starting from 2 p.m. tomorrow and continuing until Saturday. All right, so listen, make time. Bring the family. Come and check it out. One of our greatest treasures as a nation are our natural resources, and our forest reserves and water are right up at the top of that list. So come and find out how you and I can together preserve the most important of them. All right? Okay, then. Thank you so much for coming through. Darrell Bosu is the Deputy Director of Rocha Ghana.
Thank you.